Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Adventures Audio Podcast. I'm your host, Janelle Orsino, aka Enthusiast Adventurer, and today we have a buddy of mine. His name is Adam, and he designs and creates his own custom lures out of wood. He hand carves them, hand paints them, and he gets them out there, tests them, make sure they work before he puts them up for sale. He's a really incredible dude. He makes lures of all different varieties, so please go ahead and check him out and pick up some gear and tell him that I sent you. But for now, let's get into this week's episode. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you just fine.
Can you hear me? You look great. He's got his
Yeah, I
shirt
can
on.
hear you too.
I gotta get me a shirt. I thought about it too late today.
So I sell these shirts. This is my company.
Yes, I know. We're gonna
So
get
I
in.
have t-shirts for sale. I have buffs like the neck gaiters and
Oh,
everything.
really? Okay.
Yeah, and it all has this logo and the we rise before the tide on it.
Love it. Love it. How
Pretty
are you?
cool.
How was your day?
It was stressful because of all the traffic and the rain. It was crazy.
I didn't have to leave the house today. I was forever grateful for that.
And then nice, huh?
Yeah. Hey, listen, any day that I don't have to deal with the bullshit, you listen, coming from South Jersey and then coming up North Jersey, the people up here are just different, okay? They're a little bit ruder. Don't look at me. My wife is in the background. They're a little bit ruder, okay, in everything that they do. She's like the only exception.
If I see a Portuguese hammer come in the side of the viewfinder, I understand why.
She said if he sees a Portuguese hammer come through the side of the camera, he understands. No,
All I'm
but
gonna see is the word
yeah, it's just
"see"
yeah,
and a fist.
boom, and then I'm out like a light. And yeah, that's the one way to end the interview. Hey, it'll go viral. Fine.
That's a good way to go viral. I only say that to my friend Alex. I'm like, the only two ways to go viral while fishing is poop your pants
Yeah.
or get in a
Or
fist fight.
yeah, or the cops. Or the cops come.
I hate that
I know.
option because
People
then
click on it, but it's like very stupid still.
yeah.
All right. So I've got a handful of fun questions and I've got like a rapid round, which is going to be fun. And then I've just got like the regular old questions.
Okay.
So let's get into it. I guess we
Uh,
should start off with how we met before we even go into like the fishing questions. But like, how did we meet?
we didn't meet. You actually met my wife.
Right. That's true.
So I got this weird text message from a girl, and I'm like, who is this? And why does she have my number?
Yeah.
And I'm
Right.
like, you touched my fishing lure. What?
Yeah. Right. Right. Like a lot of
So
red
the
flags.
background to this is I make fishing lures out of wood. I carve them in my garage.
Hmm.
And in order to dry them and coat them with a top coat, I put them outside.
Right.
And one of my prime places outside is my mailbox because it's in full sun for most of the day.
Right.
And I need the UV light in order to cure the lure.
Yeah.
So I have it here somewhere.
Oh, you
Uh,
have it? You have the lure? The one that I touched. Oh,
this is the one that was
yeah.
hanging from the mailbox just like
It's a
this.
beauty. And I had to touch it. My ADHD would not allow me to not touch it.
And I get a text message that said I touched your lure. I'm like, what do you mean you touched it? Like what
Right.
lure? Who are you?
I need more context, please. Right.
So I got home from work and my wife is like, yeah, the person delivering mail, wanted to know more about your lore, so I gave her your card. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
a
That's
little bit of
fine.
context. Yeah, exactly. So I was a mail carrier and I was delivering mail and I got a new route that I have never done before. And basically I'm delivering mail. And when you're delivering mail, you're not really paying attention to anything other than what's in your arm And what's around? Yeah, a lure hanging off this guy's mailbox. So I'm walking by and it's on his mailbox, so I can't not see it. So I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And I open the mailbox, and as I open it, I touch it, and I was like, come on, brain, like work, have a buffer. And then I realized that, oh, like this was handmade. I hope I didn't ruin it. Luckily, it was already cured. I deliver
Yep.
the mail. I finish the loop. I get back to the truck and I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh, I hope I didn't mess it up. Uh, this is terrible. But also, if this guy makes these lures, I want to know this guy. So I was like, okay, I gotta leave a note. So I write this little note like three different times because I have terrible handwriting. I wrote it three different times, and I get the courage to like go up to the door and to give it to whoever's home. And your wife is home, answered the door. She is very lovely, by the way. Gave me your card, and we talked for a little bit, and then that's how I got in contact with you, which is hilarious. But
Yeah,
talk a little bit more. Go ahead, sorry.
she was wearing a Tackle Warehouse shirt at the time, and you're like, oh wow, these are cool
Oh,
people.
as soon listen, I am not I'm a nervous person in general. I was like rang the doorbell, freaking out. As soon as she opened the door and I saw the Tackle Head Warehouse shirt, I was like, oh, we're set, we're good, we're best friends, everything's fine. She's totally a cool person.
Right.
So that was really awesome. But tell me about your company and what you do for a living a little bit more in depth, because I know we just touched about it, but how did you get into it?
This isn't really what I do for a living. It's just a hobby, really.
Right,
I'm just a guy in my garage carving baits one at a time out of wood.
right.
Um, During the pandemic, I decided to start a YouTube channel and an Instagram related to fishing. I've been fishing in the, Jersey area since I was 13 years old.
Oh
And
wow.
it's been a passion of mine for that long. But the whole social media part of it, I didn't even explore until 2020.
Right.
I lost my mom that year, and I needed an outlet of some type in order to, keep my mind off of it, keep my head on straight. So I decided to start a YouTube channel for
There you
fishing.
go. Right.
I had no idea what I was doing. I had a camera and a GoPro, and I went out there and I filmed a bunch of videos, didn't talk in them, and nobody watched them.
Right.
So I'm like, I got to get better at this. How do I get better at this whole, YouTube, Instagram, social media thing? So I began observing people and watching different things that people do. One of the people that I watched was named Marling Bait. He has 580 some thousand
Yeah.
subscribers on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm one of them.
And I'm sure
I'm one of
everybody
them.
on the planet seems to be, right?
Yeah.
But he does something very similar. Like he carves things out of wood in his garage, one at a time, and it's art. It's not just, I'm making these to sell them. I'm making this because it's a piece of art that's functional.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was always interested in making my own lore, but I had no idea how.
Right.
And watching his channel, I would take the bits and pieces that I would gather from each video. Like, not every video he would show everything that he did.
Right.
So you took bits and pieces of this video, bits and pieces of that video, and you put it together and like, oh, is that how it works? Is that
Yep.
how you put weight in a lure? Is that how you,
Mm-hmm.
get a joint in a bait? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I took all those bits and pieces of what he would give and I started applying it on my own. And I'll be honest with you, the first things I made looked like dog turds. They were terrible. I mean, I still have a couple hanging up, but I'm surprised that fish ate them, and they ate them. I got bit
Right.
on them.
There you go.
But one of the things I wanted to key on was giving lures good movement, and then I would work on making them look pretty later.
Right. Right.
So all the lures that I make and I sell, they swim like they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And I do that by testing them in the water before I ever put them for sale. If it's a dud,
Right.
I put it in the trash or it becomes a keychain.
Ayo. That's a big keychain.
This would be a big keychain.
Yeah, it'd be a big keychain.
You make one that's like 6, 7 inches, and you're like, "Oh, you better work." And if you don't, oh, I'm
Yeah.
doing something to you, so you do.
That's when you have to sell them as like ornaments, like during Christmas time, and like find that right audience who's like, oh, look at this. My husband would love this.
Funny you mentioned that. I keep talking about doing like a craft show. Like
Oh
people
my
do
God,
fishing
yeah.
shows and like flea markets all the time, but
Mhm.
I would be the only fishing table at the craft show.
Yeah.
And all these old ladies are gonna come over and they're gonna be tired of their bows and their baskets and everything else that they got. And they're gonna be like, I could get that for my husband.
Yeah, my husband or my grandson or my nephew.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
There you
It's
go.
a market that hasn't been tapped into. And,
You know,
homemade, handmade lures.
yep.
Why
Craft shows, flea markets, and yard sales, like the big ones, like the town ones that like they have like once a year. You got to get you a little spot.
it is hard to sell them though because people want something that is like unique, but unique
Right.
for them
Yeah.
when it's handmade.
Yeah.
So I don't get very many orders for the things that just pop out of my head. I'm like,
Right.
okay, I'm
Right.
gonna make carp today.
Yeah. I
I
want
have
that
to
carp.
find somebody who needs a 7-inch carp, you know?
I need it. I'm telling you right now. I no, I'm buying that. If that's the one that I touched, I'm buying that from you.
This
So
is the
don't
one you
sell.
touch.
Okay, sell that's you're selling that to me. I will Venmo you whatever. I'll come pick it up tomorrow. I'll drive all the way down.
I've got something for Soraya cooking up too.
You got so oh, she
It's
went
not ready yet. It's not
I
ready
won't,
yet. So
I
don't
won't
tell her.
I won't
Don't.
tell her. I won't tell her. But no, that carp lure is mine. And then when I have a bigger studio set up, he's gonna be hanging like right behind me in every video.
Well, okay. So there's another podcast I listen to called Made to Cast, and
Okay.
it's another bait maker, and all the bait makers go on there and like people hang these things on the wall. They don't
I'll
fish
use
with
it.
them.
No, no, I'll use
Better
it, but I
use
don't
it.
that's not the only one from you I'm gonna buy. I need like
Okay.
a trout, a perch, a bluegill, a crappie. I get a carp. Was there
Yeah, I
another
got
one? No, I
all
think it was
kinds of
five.
different stuff.
Yep,
Like there's a
yep.
bluegill.
Oh, that's a gorgeous bluegill. Yeah, give me a show. Show me what you got.
I made a bunker
Oh, that's
for the
awesome.
salt
Oh my
water.
gosh, for saltwater. I didn't even think about saltwater.
And the guy who wanted this wanted a rattle in it, so I put a rattle inside for him.
Yeah, Soraya and well, she's a huge striper fan. So now I have to
So I've
think about
got
saltwater.
yellow perch.
Yep.
So if you go up to Champlain, something
I
like
was just
this,
gonna say, dude, the pike, you're gonna annihilate that thing.
we've got crappies.
Yep, yep. Got
I've
a
got
little lip. Is that was
little
that a
bit of
wake bait?
everything, and not just swim baits.
Right. No, you do. You have a little. I just. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna come over one day and make an order. That's a
So
beautiful jerkbait.
yeah, so that's supposed to be
Big
like a
bait.
mega bass, but it's made out of
Yeah.
Alaskan yellow cedar.
Beautiful.
That's
Okay,
another thing
so
I like to do. I like to experiment with different kinds of wood to see what it
yeah,
does.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And at one point in time, I made 4 different swim baits out of 4 different woods just to see what they were. I put it up on my
Right.
YouTube,
Yeah.
and it was amazing how different each one was, even though they were made
Right.
exactly the same.
Right. And then the knowledge you get out of a test like that or doing that type of project, like, and it just really just dials you into your craft. That's
Right,
awesome.
and it makes me a better consumer too because
Yeah.
now I know like, okay, that lure that they sell at Bass Pro Shop is probably gonna run like trash because they built it wrong.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm giving myself like background research on lure making,
Yeah.
for other people too, and I'm like, I'm not gonna buy
Yeah.
that route, but they made it wrong.
Right. Hey, the more you know, especially when it comes to your business or anything like that, the better. So
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah,
That's great.
and I'm into my own lures, but I also buy other stuff too. Like I have a large selection of JDM stuff imported from Japan.
Can't help it.
So
We can't
if
help it.
if if you need like micro doges that are like a little cicada that are weedless,
Yeah.
I've
Oh
got
my
that too.
God. That looks awesome. There are some places on Champlain that the weeds are just, it's even too much for a frog sometimes. And you're just like, but I know there's one right in that little pocket in the back corner.
That
That's
that would be
awesome.
awesome on Champlain. It has like crawler wings on it, so it like splashes the
Yeah.
water as it like
Yeah.
moves.
Yeah, it makes that like wobble, almost like well, a jitterbug was more of a scatter, but I know like the action
So yeah,
that you're
it's kind of
talking.
like crazy crawler.
Yeah, yeah. Now, do you fish primarily from a boat, from the bank, from a kayak? Like, what is your method or vessel, I guess?
So I prefer to fish from a boat whenever possible, but there's a lot involved with that. You have to hitch it up to the truck, drive it out to where you're going. Hopefully that there's a boat ramp or at least something that you can launch a boat into. Like
Yeah.
most of New Jersey is just sand and dirt, and you hope that you can pull out at the end of the day.
That's true.
Um, but I do have kayaks. My wife and I both kayak. She enjoys just going out and paddling, where
Oh,
I'm more
okay.
like, how many fish can I catch in this kayak today? Like
That's great.
that type of thing. Um, and I used to have a big bass boat. I had a Skeeter for a little while,
Okay.
but it just got too expensive to run that
Yeah.
because got 3 miles of the gallon.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
it's brutal.
man.
And
Yeah.
all the other expenses of running a boat, it became too much for what I was doing with it, which
Right.
was running up into the Delaware River and not catching anything.
Yep. Yep. Been there. My dad would be like, let's go. And we'll get into the G3 and we go all the way across through all the big barge boats and everything, and then catch
Yeah.
nothing and be like, all right, guess we're going home.
Like, why did I do this? Why did I spend all this money to not catch anything on the Delaware River?
Yeah, you can go
Um,
on Champlain, make a turn, and put your trolling motor down and start catching fish immediately.
right. If I went to Champlain every year, then I
Yeah.
would have that boat back in a second.
Yeah. It gets too
Um,
expensive. No, I get that.
yeah, but I need to get back to Champlain. I love that place. It's such a great
It
fishery.
has my heart. I think I'm spoiled a little bit because a lot of people are like, "Oh, I would love to go. I've never been." And I'm like, I go every year. Is that like not typical for people? But people do bigger trips than that. It's just it's something that's embedded in my family and I love it.
It's a fishing mecca, and you could fish for anything
Oh,
in that lake because
yeah.
it's there.
Oh
Pike,
yeah.
smallmouth, largemouth, even if you like perch and
Mm-hmm.
salmon, even.
Walleye, crappie, like what do you want? What do you want that
Yeah,
day? Trout. There's some big trout in there. Like
it's got it all. It also
yeah.
happens to be my friend's final resting place.
Oh,
Uh, I brought his ashes up to, well, I'm not going to say, but
don't
brought
tell
his
me.
ashes up, and he will fish Champlain forever now.
It's one of the places that I told my wife that I have to be spread. So there's like three places. So Champlain is absolutely one of
I
them. So
understand it.
yeah. Yeah. It captures you in a way that like nobody else or no place else does. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So the wife likes to go out on the kayak. Now is she like sun hat, sunblock, her big tumbler of coffee or whatever and like just paddles around? Like what's her vibe on the kayak?
Definitely sun hat, sun shirt,
Mm-hmm.
chilling with the sunglasses on, paddle a little bit, go see things like, hey, look, there's a bird,
Yeah, I'm
that
gonna
type
go
of
chase a
thing.
bird like I'm gonna catch it.
She might have a rod with her, but it's
Yeah.
not like she's like intense like me. Like
Yeah.
I'm taking like every bait that I own, and I'm about
Mm-hmm.
to sink my kayak because I want to catch one on like my new prop bait that I
Oh my
made, that type
God,
of
that's
thing.
sick. Yeah. Yeah. That
And
thing is awesome.
yeah, this is a sideways golden shiner, so it actually sits sideways, so the eyeball
Sweet.
is down.
Yep.
And when they see it up on the top, just sitting there, all like dead, they can't
Yep.
stand.
They just can't
I
hit.
made the
Oh,
top look like a joke, though. It's just my name and an eyeball.
that's okay. Double-sided. It works well. That's funny. So, okay. So, like, what's your go-to rod and reel setup? I guess if you're throwing larger swim. Okay. I was just going to say, you have your arsenal. Run me through it. Run me through what you got.
So remember when we were talking about like your rod holders and things like that, and I would need 50?
Hmm.
I would literally need 50 of them because the ones that you see on the wall right here are
Hmm.
just the ones that are on the wall. If
Right.
I turn the camera a little bit, there's probably about just as many in the corner,
Right.
just as many on my boat right now, and just as many in my truck.
Yeah. So you're a rod and reel connoisseur. You don't
Uh,
have
I'm
a preference.
I'm not a snob about rods,
No, but you like your
but
rods.
I like a good quality rod
Yeah. No,
because
I
if
get
you
that.
get a cheaper rod, you don't get the full experience of what fishing with a good quality piece of equipment is.
Right.
I don't want to knock ugly sticks.
You don't have to.
They're great for what they do.
They're great for what that's exactly what I was going to say. They're great for what they do.
Incredibly durable. More people have caught fish on an ugly stick than probably anything else.
Right.
But they're heavy,
Yep. Yep.
and they're not nearly as sensitive as what people might claim them to be.
Yeah. Well, the people that don't
Somebody
know.
told me if you put like a rod up against your throat and you talk, if you can feel the person
Uh-huh.
talking in
Yeah.
the rod handle, that's a really good rod. I
See,
don't
my
think that you could ever feel a person talking through an ugly stick.
no, probably not. See, my dad taught me to hold the rod, the butt of the rod, and then lightly touch the floor with the eye of the rod, and you should be able to like feel like like the vibrations or like if there's and like see the sensitivity of the rod. But
Yeah,
that's a new one.
that's another method too.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like
The
Soraya.
talking method kind of like blew my mind. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
I'm gonna
So
do that next time.
yeah, so if you ever see me like holding up a rod to somebody's throat, it's
Yeah,
not because
yeah.
I'm like jabbing them. I'm just like,
Hey,
yo, say something, say
yeah,
something.
give me everything you got. Oh, that's
Um,
great though.
Let me pull out one of my favorites for
Yeah, I
you.
was gonna say, give me one of like your favorite rods. I grew up, at first throwing, the $30 spinning combos. My dad would always get me and my brother the same one until like for Christmas. We would always, if one got, the other one got. Oh, that's nice. Okay, what are we
So
dealing with?
this is a Daiwa Tatula.
Absolutely.
Um, it's just the CT model, which is one of their cheaper ones. It's like a $130 reel.
Yeah.
I really like reels that are like all metal construction, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll do
Mm-hmm.
that for both bait casters and spinning reels because
Okay.
you just get a better quality reel. It'll last longer.
Yep.
It doesn't have that twist feeling that a lot of plastic reels have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Eh, Like I said, I'm not a snob, but I need something that's quality and it's going to hold up.
Yeah, you're not a snob, but you know what you need, and you have to make sure you have that, or else it's just not
Right.
gonna be right.
So these rods that I found, I'm not sponsored by them, but it's a brand called Arc, ARK,
Okay.
and this model is the Catalyzer, and it's a budget rod. They usually go around like $60,
Okay.
but in my opinion, it's equivalent to like $120, $130 rod.
Well,
They
now
are
I have to
really,
get
really
one.
good rods. They don't
Okay.
have they don't have a lot of different actions, so you're
Right.
limited,
Yeah.
but they have like buy one get one sales all the time, so you can get them for like $35.
Heyo. Okay.
Yeah, so if you check out their website, find the catalyzer, see if there's one that you like,
Right.
and buy it immediately because I have at least 7 or 8 of these
Right.
in different models, spinning and
Wow.
casting.
Okay. So you don't
So
have a spinning or casting preference. You use both. You're not
I'll
like a
use whatever I need to for that particular technique. Like if I'm throwing a jig or a
hmm
spinnerbait or a crankbait, I'm usually throwing a bait caster.
hmm
If I'm throwing like a shaky head or a drop shot or even a grub, I'm using a spinning rod because it just works better.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
I dabbled my foot into BFS,
Oh,
which is
okay.
bait finesse, like bait casting with like ultralight line and
I don't
tiny.
understand
If
it.
you look at my YouTube channel, it did not turn out well.
I listen, I last year was the first year that I really threw my bait caster. I bought this thing back when I was like probably 15 years old in the bargain cave of Cabela's. I've never used it. Got my wife and she knows how to like dial them in. So she set it up for my chatterbait and like my spinner bait. And I was doing okay. Like I don't have the accuracy, but I can launch that thing like a country mile and cover water and it works well. But before then I was just a spinnerbait girl. So I'm getting into more bait casters like this year and last year.
Well,
So
you're in a kayak mostly too, so bait
yeah,
casting in a kayak is hard.
it is.
It's not easy, and a
Yeah.
spinning reel probably does work better
Yep.
most of the time.
Right. And
But
it covers whatever you need.
right,
You
but
get a
you
medium
know
heavy
me
rod.
and
Yeah.
my swim baits.
I know. Yeah.
So if I'm throwing a swim bait from a kayak off a spinning rod, I'm
Oh,
probably not having a good time.
no, yeah,
Uh,
don't that's
so
not smart.
I'll usually bring like 2 spinning rods and a bait caster with me on the kayak, and then I
Right.
can cover like all the bases.
Yeah.
And I'm usually not throwing something like, this off the kayak.
Oh, it's beautiful. I would.
But
But I
that's a
would
heavy
be
bait. That's like a 3 ounce bait.
but I'd be standing up too, you know what I mean?
True.
So I bring one bait caster and then three spinning rods. But now it's gonna be two because now I obviously need a bigger rod for my swim baits and my glide baits. Holy moly, how long is that?
That one's 9.5.
I was gonna say nine. Holy
Yeah.
smokes.
So
Dude, a pike would annihilate that.
this is why I like fishing from the boat so I can throw stuff like this.
Yeah.
Will I always catch a fish on this? No. Will I
No.
even get a fish to follow this? No.
Sometimes.
But the idea that I might is
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Every time I throw this, there's a chance that I'm gonna get that 4, 5, 6 pounder in New
hmm
Jersey.
It tickles your brain. It's like, oh,
Right. And you're like, wow, that there's the
dude.
opportunity that I could catch that fish of the year
hmm
on that cast when I'm
Yeah.
throwing something like this. If I'm throwing like an itty bitty grub or,
Yeah.
tiny crankbait, the confidence to do that isn't as high.
No.
I might be catching more fish
Yeah.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
And then you grab the big boy and you start throwing it again.
Right. I'm right back to like the 7-inch rat.
Dude, it's so cool.
And
I
this one
love the
has
look of that.
magnets in it,
Oh my God, it's got magnets in it. That's
so that way the hooks stay
genius.
in place.
That's genius. I'm gonna go
Um,
broke.
so now this was a Marling design, so
Oh,
I
okay.
completely stole his design on this.
Oh, let's not say steal. Oh, you were inspired.
Inspired, but I was really, really wanting to make something that you know looked a lot like what he was making.
Yeah,
And I used walnut, so that's actually natural wood grain on that.
that's gorgeous. Yeah, it works really great for the rat. Dude, you got
So
me stoked.
some of the stuff
Stoked
I'm
about it. Some of this. Oh.
here's a
Oh,
shad.
that's gorgeous. Yep, three segments.
Yeah,
Red.
and these swim
Tra-
great.
oh, they look. Oh, when I get them in my hands, you're not gonna get me off the water. Like,
Yeah, I can't wait to actually go out and test some stuff because I haven't been able to go recently. Our weather's
yeah.
been crazy on the weekends, and
hmm
uh, during the week I don't get to fish nearly as much. I'm working in Philly now,
Oh, really? Okay.
so I'm driving over to Philly, 3 days a week, and fishing at Fairmount Park. I'm probably not gonna catch anything, but
No.
maybe,
You
maybe.
might not. You might, but I don't know. On the right day.
Yeah, and then I lose my parking spot, or I'm gonna lose all my tires from my
Yeah, where you
truck.
get towed. Yeah.
Right.
You got
Yeah,
no car.
PTA, not messing with them.
So I see you have an ice fishing rod behind you. Do you ice
That's
fish?
just a decoration.
Is that okay? Okay.
Ice fishing is not my thing. I
You
will
don't like
not
the
be
cold.
caught on the ice.
Really? Why?
No, man wasn't meant to walk on water. We have boats.
Man wasn't meant to walk on water. Yeah, but when you freeze it, it's fine.
It's
I've
not
been
fine. You fall
I've
through. People
I've
die
fallen
every year in Jersey.
I've fallen through the ice.
Yeah, I don't
But
like that.
let me explain. I t- 2 winters ago, I took Soraya out on the ice and it was like this thick when we started. And I was like, that's technically safe ice. And as we were going, it was getting thinner and I'm
Mm-mm.
walking on it and I can see it wobbling.
Nope.
And I am like an ADHD dog. So I saw this ball across the water and I was like, go get it.
Let me go get it.
Now, Soraya's behind me a little ways. And I step and I just fall through and I don't even get to my waist. Like the water's not even that deep. So I'm just sitting there. Now I'm muddy and wet and the water's not even cold. I was like, and then she like her firefighter instincts kick in. So she grabs my shoulders, pulls me out, and I'm like trying to help her. I'm like flailing and I'm just laying there like, oh,
at
drag
least,
me.
yeah, at least you had a firefighter right there to rescue you.
Yeah, it was funny. She was like, really? And I was like, this isn't normally what happens.
How
You go
lucky is
ice
that?
fishing.
Just hang around with a firefighter. If I get in trouble, she'll just save me. It's
Oh
cool.
yeah. Yeah. Yesterday at the house, my dad was playing with the dog, but we didn't know that. We were downstairs and we heard him yelling and like banging around. She immediately like jumps up, runs upstairs, like, what's going on? And my dad's just like with the dog on the ground, playing with the dog. It's like, sorry, babe. I know your instincts just kicked in, but he's just having fun, roughhousing
No,
with the dog.
no ice fishing for me.
No.
It's not my thing. That's why I have it on the wall. It's a decoration, and all my
Oh.
lures go in the bag to go fish.
Now, when you take your photos for the website, do you put your lure on that ice fishing rod and then post that picture? Because that would be
I
hilarious.
should. I probably should.
You probably
I bought
should.
a bunch of like little blocks to put them on, and I never actually used them.
Right. Why would
I'm
we?
I'm a terrible photographer because I'm lazy, and
Me
I'm
too.
just like, okay, I want to take a picture of this. I take a picture of it. I'm like, okay, that's good enough.
Yep. Yep. And then
But
we like get all excited about the post and we're like, "Hmm,
and
this
it's
is the
like,
best
oh,
that I could do."
people liked your post,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
you feel absolutely devastated because like I spent 6 hours making this. Why didn't
Right.
anybody like it?
Yep. Yep. Oh, been there. It's just it's my ADHD of like go go go. But like, all right, we've got four cameras on the boat. We're gonna get so many cool shots. And as soon as I get on the water, I'm like, I gotta catch fish. And I'm just like not
That's
paying
me on
attention.
YouTube too. I forget to talk.
Yep.
Like I know that's a big thing for YouTube because people want to hear like what you're thinking, what you're doing, like why you made a cast or what lure you're using, what rod you're
Right.
using. And I'm just like so focused that I
Right.
just want to catch the fish and I'm like, oh, I forgot to talk to you guys. Like I'm
Right.
sorry.
Yeah, it
In a
happens.
setting like this where I can talk to somebody, I can tell you all about like what I'm doing because I'm
Yep.
not actually doing it.
Yep. Yeah, I like the angle like in front of me and behind me so that you can kind of see both sides. And then this year I'm gonna get a hat cam and do more talking so that I have the audio and then I have the other shots to go with the audio. Because
I
I
promise
just,
myself
yeah.
I talk every time. I'm like, all right, today's the day. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna just go out into the woods. I'm gonna be that maniac talking to himself, and then nope, just
Nope, can't do it.
ass
Yep,
cat. You hear the
fishing.
bait caster clicking,
Yep, yep. And then reeling it in.
catch a fish, start breathing hard. I'm like,
Oh,
we're
I did
good.
it. Yeah. Yeah, little bit more on in 2024. We got to work on our social media, YouTube, um, editing.
Yeah, my Instagram has gone okay.
Hmm.
I've got like 4,000 some followers now.
There you go.
Uh,
Not bad.
but that's because I hacked the system.
Hmm.
Um, I started posting all this crazy stuff like hashtag hot, hashtag cute, hashtag girl, and like
Oh man.
this is the way to superstardom, right? These are the
Hmm.
most popular hashtags on all of Instagram. It
Obvious.
don't work like that. I'm not a girl. I'm not hot. I'm not cute. I post fishing pictures.
Hmm.
So then that drew my attention to the okay, maybe I should use fishing hashtags to attract the people who are interested in fishing.
That'll do it.
So I started doing that instead, and that's what worked,
There you go. The light bulb went
right?
right off.
But
There you go.
if you do anything that's outside of fishing that doesn't relate to your photo,
Hmm.
it just gives your post a big old thumbs
Yep.
down.
Yep.
So I have a sunglass sponsor, Vut Sunglasses in
Oh,
Burlington, New
really?
Jersey.
Sweet. Yeah.
And I was like, I got a sunglass post. I'll take a picture of me in sunglasses and a fish. I'm gonna look cool. I'm gonna wear my hat.
Yeah.
Hashtag sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heyo.
Yeah. 40 million people have done the same thing and it doesn't
Yep.
work that way.
Right. Right. You got to do something
So
interesting.
it just plummeted my post all the way to the bottom and nobody even commented or saw it.
Right. Right.
So I'm
It's
realizing
tough.
more and more that those that one little hashtag
Hmm.
will destroy your post.
Yeah. It's crazy. And like I'm not good with analysis like that. Like I'm just not good with the algorithm in that sense. So I'm kind of recruiting Soraya to help me a little bit more with my social media this year. I'm doing my best, but you gotta figure out the formula that works.
And you have to have like this not a gimmick but like a shtick or something that makes you unique.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'm just a guy who makes fishing lures in my garage and not very good at it either. So
Come on, don't say that.
I
I'm
I,
just a
I
girl who makes YouTube videos and podcasts and whatever else she wants. I'm not good at it.
but I think you are. I'm enjoying all the stuff that you posted.
Thank you. I'm trying.
I think it's just a matter of you being able to be out there and for people to see it.
Yeah.
Because if nobody sees it, nobody knows about
Yep. And you're not gonna go anywhere with it.
it.
So,
And that's a problem with my lures too, because I don't push them like a salesman.
right.
I'm not a salesman.
Yeah.
I'm a fisherman. I sell things
Right.
to the fish,
Yeah.
but to the people, I'm like, hey, look at this cool thing I made. Later, bye.
Yeah. Bye. I'm shy. Gotta go.
Right?
Okay, here it is. Bye.
So so I don't know how to market myself or my lures. Like nobody's ever bought a t-shirt from me
I'm gonna be the first.
because they don't know that I have t-shirts for sale. Because I don't
Exactly.
say like, yo,
Guys,
t-shirt for
new
sale.
shirts
Look
are
how sweet
out.
this is.
Yeah, look
It's
at
my
it.
it's my initials actually.
Shut up. Hey,
The hook and the wave are an A and an M together.
you're a
And
genius.
the rise before the tide is the wave rising.
Oh my God. See, and this is why you need to make a post about.
But nobody knows that it even exists. So that's why I don't sell them.
Here's how I started when I was doing YouTube back in like 2012 when I was like a kid. I just was like, pretend that you have an audience. So like when I'm talking to the camera, pretend like you have a following, pretend like you've been doing this for a while, pretend like you've already got it all figured out, and then the rest will fall in line. And for some reason, as I've gotten older, I've sunk more into my shell because this platform has just gotten so big now that you almost feel like an imposter. But like that's
I
kind of what you
hate
have
that
to do.
feeling.
I
And
hate
and
it.
you're
I
not.
hate it.
You're not
I
because
know.
when you think about it, how many people who do watch the videos and are enjoying them,
Right.
I think of it this way: how many school buses are you filling
Yeah.
by how many people have actually viewed your video?
Right. Right.
So some of my videos have gotten like over 1,000 views. That's a
Hmm.
whole auditorium of people who came to watch me go catch a bluegill.
Hell
How
yeah, it
cool is
is.
that
That's
when you
really
think
cool,
about it like
actually.
that, you
Yeah, I'm
know?
gonna try to put things in that perspective now. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So it does give you like that feeling of like, is this good enough? Am I doing the right thing? Like,
Right.
should I just quit? Like, I get those feelings all the time,
All day, every
and
day.
you're like, well, why am I doing this? What am I getting out of it? Well, maybe the feedback isn't coming right away. Maybe that post will go viral a year from now because that's what people are
Right.
interested in.
Right.
Like if I make a video about making that rat, maybe there's a rat, epidemic next year and people are all fishing with rats. I
Right.
don't know.
I mean, the big glide baits and swim baits, they're having their moment. Like they're coming up in the like the fishing world and they're becoming more popular. So I think you're at a good time right now for it. But yeah, you got to find the right people, or they have to find you, more or less.
Yeah, I've been fishing swim bait since the '90s.
Jesus.
Um,
I was
back
born in the
back
90s.
I'm secretly old.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
don't
yeah.
don't don't worry about how
Don't let
old
it
I
fool
am.
you. I won't. No, I would never.
Yeah, back in the '90s, there were only a couple of different swim bait options that you could buy, and they were all from California, and they were all mad expensive.
Yeah.
And expensive for me back then was like a $20 lure
Yeah.
because you throw something that you bought for $20 into the water, hoping that it will come back to you over
Uh-huh.
and over again
Mm-hmm.
and not come back with any damage or anything while something is trying to eat it
Yeah.
actively.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Um, so back then, like $20 some baits, that was a lot of money. But
Oh yeah.
that same feeling that I have now when I have that opportunity for that big fish, I
Yeah.
had back then. And nobody
Really.
else had that until like
Right.
YouTube blew it up and they're like, oh, swim baits are the best way to catch big fish. They
Mm-hmm.
are,
Yeah.
but let me
Yeah.
have my
Yeah.
little like niche,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It's a confidence thing sometimes. Like sometimes my confidence is up there and other times it's down there and everywhere in between. So that's just you have your good days and your bad days. But you've been doing this for a long time. You know what you're doing. So
That's
be
another thing. I
proud.
felt like I had to prove myself on YouTube. Like,
Yep.
I know a lot about fishing. I went to college for fisheries science
Oh, that's
at
awesome.
Virginia Tech. So
Sweet.
that's like fisheries biology, but for freshwater.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I have a lot of scientific background along with just fishing knowledge.
There you
You
go.
know, I've been to the Orvis School of Fly Fishing in Vermont. I've gone to Montana. I used to
So
go fly fishing with my dad in Roscoe, New York every spring break.
I'm jealous. That's amazing.
So there's a lot of things that I know and that I would love to relay to people,
Hmm.
but I don't know how the best way to transfer that knowledge is.
Yeah,
And if I'm oversharing, if I'm undersharing, because you don't get feedback.
right, right. You
You
would
might get a
almost,
fire emoji from somebody and you're like, thanks.
yeah, what about it? Like, like I need more. So if you
Like,
like this
I'm going to
content, how
call
do I
Soraya to
transfer
come
that?
put your fire out.
She'd be more than willing. Dude, my parents are Italian AF, but they cannot make garlic bread without setting off the smoke detectors. And me and the dogs are so numb to it. The first time Soraya was over and the smoke detectors went off, she jumped out of bed like freaking out, like ran upstairs, and nobody was around. And
There's nobody there.
I was like, it's because my mom was already upstairs fanning the smoke detector. So he's back.
Let me see if it's
I did.
in its port.
It is. She's the sweetest thing. Sorry about that interruption
So
situation.
back on track. I don't even remember what
We were
we're.
talking about my parents setting off the smoke detector
Oh
with
yeah, the garlic
garlic
bread
bread.
and your mom fanning it.
Yeah. Oh, the broom is there's like always a broom closest to the smoke detector that goes off, and then one of us goes up and like it would be like me and my brother. I would go upstairs, and my brother would go to the living room, and we'd be fanning smoke
You
detector.
have a smoke detector broom like
Yeah.
dedicated for. Yep,
Yeah. Yeah. Like, oh shit, get this thing out.
did it
That's great.
again.
Yeah, did it again. I have a rapid round for you. So this is just like a series of questions that basically I'm gonna hit you with them, and I want you to respond as quick as possible. Now, honestly, you can go into detail if you want, but if you don't want, you don't have to. But they're
Okay,
kind of silly or serious depending on how you take it. First one, the air guitar or drums?
air guitar,
Good one. Okay, mountains or beach?
mountains,
Dogs or cats?
dogs,
Okay, Uber or DoorDash?
neither.
Neither. You just cook?
Nah,
You
nah,
just do that old school thing where you guys just cook dinner every night?
that or I actually go get it because it's cheaper for me to go get it.
That's true. See, like we sometimes me and her are just too tired to even leave the
Yeah,
apartment.
I'm too cheap.
No, I get that. I get that. Okay.
Make
Paper
money
towels or
work.
napkins? What's that?
Paper towel,
Paper towel nap. Okay, what is that lore? Is it...
my perch.
Mm. Yeah, I need one of those. Okay. Read a book or watch TV?
Watch TV.
Okay. Are you a book guy at all?
Bassmaster magazine.
Okay, I'll take
They're
it.
trying to get me back.
I just look at it for the pictures.
I used to do that, but all it is ads now. I might write them a
Yeah,
stern letter.
you should. Okay, ice cream or water ice?
Oh, tough.
I know.
Wait, is it Rita's or is it real water ice? Throwing
Rita's
Rita
isn't
under the bus here.
Rita's isn't the worst one of all of them.
It isn't the worst one, but come on. We'll go with
Okay,
ice cream because no ice cream is bad.
you're the
You
port
had
the
bad ice cream before?
no, 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 no. But the gelato in Portugal, take me now.
Oh
It's
wow,
they.
gelato that's a whole
Ah,
nother
God, I
level.
know. I'm sorry. Okay, beer or wine?
I don't drink.
Oh, why don't you drink?
I'm
If it
straight edge.
okay, sweet.
I'm
I'm allergic to alcohol,
okay.
so there's one wine that
I
we
might
found. It's
be.
like 3%, and I can drink that on occasion. But other than that, I don't drink. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
I've never had a drop.
We're non-drinking buddies. Sweet. Everyone else that I know.
Yeah, I'm the DD. That's fine.
We're more fun anyway. Fuck 'em.
We are. We totally are.
Yeah. Listen to music or podcast.
Music usually. Even
Okay.
though I'm on a
You.
podcast right now,
That's okay.
I'll
I do
listen to
both.
this one.
Oh. Morning or night?
Night. Although everybody goes fishing in the morning, but
I hate it
the
though.
fish don't care.
I know, and I hate it though. I
Me
hate
too.
waking up early in the morning. I'll do it sometimes, but I hate it.
My fishing tournaments, I have to wake up at 3 a.m. I don't want to.
That's why I couldn't do a tournament. I mean, I want to try, but like not. I'm not there yet. Maybe
You
next
should
year.
come fish one of our tournaments.
Okay, we'll talk about it. If you're
You can
gonna,
do it in a kayak too.
oh, Okay. Well, my new kayak is coming this weekend or Monday. One of the it depends
I'll,
on
I'll
how
I'll
they're.
tell you the whole setup. You'll be like thrilled.
Oh, I'm very excited. Okay. Zombies or vampires?
Zombies, but only because my friend wrote a screenplay about them.
Oh, that's awesome. Was it good? You can be
It's
honest.
so good.
Is
I'll
it?
send it to you.
Okay.
It's so
Please.
good.
Yes. Oh, Soraya, you know what I'll do? I'll make Soraya read it to me because she's really good with her animations. I'm not the reader in the
You'll
relationship.
like it.
Sweet. Okay. Dye your hair or get a tattoo.
Dye my hair. My hair used to be blue.
Why did we get rid of the blue hair?
It's not appropriate in corporate
I was gonna say,
workplaces.
it's definitely for work. Okay. Are you a sweet or sour guy?
Sweet. Although I do like
Okay.
sweet tarts and Sour Patch Kids.
Okay. Soraya
That,
loves
a
sour candy.
little bit of both.
Okay. Milk chocolate or dark chocolate?
Milk chocolate. No to dark chocolate. I just had this conversation with my wife. I
Oh
said,
no.
old people like dark chocolate. I don't want to be old.
Soraya loves dark chocolate.
I'm sorry, Sarai.
He can't hear you. Nope, you can't hear him. She can't
No,
hear you. It's fine.
hopefully she don't listen to this later.
Oh, maybe. Lions or tigers?
Tigers. I don't know why.
Sweet. I, they're cooler. They got stripes.
They have stripes.
They've got stripes. You should make a tiger swim bait.
I could do that. I've thought about doing that.
Would it be orange? Would it be
It would
like a
be,
classic?
yeah, I would do something like a goldfishy type with tiger stripes.
That would be awesome. Okay, coffee or tea?
Tea, for sure. I don't like coffee.
You don't like coffee? I like
Not at
both.
all.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Cash or
It tastes
card?
like mud. I don't want to drink mud.
Cash or card?
Cash.
Car or plane?
Car.
Okay,
Can't fly
when
a
are we?
plane.
You can't, yeah, but you
Can
can't
drive
fly
a
a
car.
plane. I
No,
can't fly a
I can
plane.
fly drones. I make drones in my basement, actually.
You do? Is that why you have the connects? Oh,
So
that's
I
dope.
build these and I fly them with the VR goggles.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's
that's
awesome.
another hobby, but that's something else.
That's something for a different podcast.
Yeah.
That's episode number 2 with you.
Yeah, that's episode number 2. I'll have to come back.
Oh, that's it for the rapid round. Tell me about your dog. Do you only have one dog?
I only have one dog, and that's
Okay.
because if we had more than
No.
one dog, she would get jealous
Oh,
because she's very needy, although she's very quiet and sweet.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
She
Aren't they
needs
all?
all the attention.
So do I. It's not a problem. That's cute.
My dog is a pointer mix,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
so we think she's mixed with Jack Russell. So she's
Yeah.
short, but she looks like a pointer.
Yeah. I could see the Jack Russell though when I first like saw her for the brief amount of time that I got to
Yeah.
see her.
So just like I paint my lures, there's like a
Yeah.
little statue of her outside.
Yeah. I don't remember, to be honest.
It
Sorry
was
about
on the
that.
step. You were too busy
I
poking
was
my lure.
preoccupied looking at your lore.
Yeah, so there's a little statue of my dog outside too.
Oh, that's great. Okay. I'm gonna write down a list of lures that I need from you. I'm gonna buy them. But are you ready?
I've got plenty. I've got like
All right, well
cases
then
of lures
show
that
me.
I've built.
Let me see them.
You want to see them all?
Not all of them. Okay, do you have a box?
I've got. Hang
Like
on.
I can okay. Do 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 do.
I've
Okay.
got a two-sided box full of smaller ones.
Okay.
I've got swim baits out the wazoo.
Mm-hmm. I have that tackle box, by the way.
I've got
Okay.
Dollar Tree
Okay.
boxes full of swim baits.
All right. So okay, so out of what you have, open that green one is the most interesting to me. Drea! Hey babe. How many lures am I allowed to buy right now? Yeah. No. Too low.
Too low.
5 sounds good. All right.
Ooh, she's a big spender, huh? I hope your
No,
birthday's coming up.
she said 2 and I said 5. All right, give me the little ones. Let me see what you got. Oh, just
So let me open this up here.
okay. Oh, she's gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Okay, are these all Crank slash jerk baits?
Most of these are jerk baits, but I also have this one, which is
What is
a
that?
design of my own.
Uh-huh.
I call this a swagger.
Okay.
It has a inline spinner blade on the belly of it,
Love it.
and I don't know if you're familiar with a Kitech swim bait,
Yes. Yes, I am.
but
Hmm.
it has a boot tail, and
Right.
that blade being right there on the base of a shape like this
Mm-hmm.
causes a hard wooden bait to swim like a Kitech.
Really?
And nobody realizes what this is. They just look at it and they're like, "Oh, he's crazy," and he put a blade on the bottom of a jerk bait that has no lip
Right.
on it.
Right.
But if I put the lip on it, it wouldn't swim right.
That's true.
So this is a lipless sinking wooden lure with a blade on the back of it that swims like a swim bait.
I'm intrigued, but at the same time, I'm unsure. Because I've never seen anything like it.
It is completely unique. I've never seen anybody else make anything like this.
Right.
There is a Japanese company that makes something called the eye roller,
Okay.
which is what I took the inspiration from,
Right.
but that falls horizontally,
Okay.
where mine falls nose down.
Oh, okay. So it kind of like dies and
Yeah, so it sinks nose down, which is like if you put a Kitech on a jig head,
Yep, yep.
it sinks nose down. It
Right.
doesn't sink sideways.
Right.
So
Oh,
I felt like that would be a better action. And I found that that bait will catch fish when nothing else is working
right. It's just something about it.
because it's something that they've never seen before at all.
Right.
And it's flashy, it's got the right shape, it's the right size, it's not too big, it's not too little.
All right.
I've caught bass up to 4 pounds on it and pickerel up to 3.5.
All right. Throw it in the bag. It's mine.
Um, but that's my own personal
Of
like
course it
I
is.
make those, and it's only made out of Atlantic cedar wood
Okay.
because it's a little more dense than like balsa or other types of
Right.
wood. Like, I played around with all different types of wood till I got that right.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't look like much. It looks crazy,
Hey, listen.
but
If it catches fish, that doesn't matter.
I mean, it's not gonna look as pretty as you know.
I'm gonna pull a pretty one out. Ooh, I
This
saw that one when you opened it.
this is a little bluegill that I painted, and it's actually wood grain underneath of that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have a house down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina,
Okay.
and in that area is a lot of cypress swamp.
Right.
And I made friends with a guy who has like a huge island in the middle of the swamp. And he cut me a piece of one of his trees and said,
Oh,
"Here, see if you can make a lure out of it."
there you
It
go.
turned out one of the most beautiful wood I've ever used.
Right. And
Like,
you couldn't do that again
I've
if you
made
tried.
several baits with it. Like here's one that is just pure wood grain.
I want that one. See, like that's gorgeous. I feel like a
And
walleye would
it
smash
turned out
that. I
beautiful.
feel like a walleye would smash that. Or a smallie. Oh, a little orange under the belly?
Yeah, a little orange under the belly.
See, like I'm like a kid in the candy store. You're like a kid in the candy store. You made them and you want to show them off, and I just want to buy them all. That thing's
This is
cool.
this is a frog with a propeller on the butt.
Yeah, it is.
I call it a turbo frog.
Hell yeah, you do. It's a great name.
If you like black and blue,
I've never thrown a black and blue crankbait.
nobody has.
Like
Nobody
I
has them.
nobody. Okay, wait, I didn't. Do they work? Do they work?
The first time I threw this, I caught a fish on it.
That's not bad. Can't
But
say I
uh,
never.
but I put it in the box to sale right
Right,
afterward because
right,
I I test them all to make sure that they swim.
right. Ooh, what's that? I want that.
Little perch,
Can
little
I have
perch
that?
jerk bait made out of
Can I
Tupelo wood.
can I buy that one?
That one works. I got a baby bass popper with a
Popper.
little feather treble on the back.
Yeah. This year, I believe, so my cousin loves making poppers. He's a huge Marling Bates fan also. He's a popper guy. So This year we're gonna do like a DIY popper challenge when we go to Champlain to see who can catch the biggest fish on their homemade popper. I'm very excited about that one.
I'll give you the cheat code.
Oh yeah, what's the cheat code? I'm gonna write it down. Popper cheat code. I
You
won't even tell Soraya.
you put a little bit of weight in the back end, just a
What?
little tiny piece of a split shot,
I was just
and
gonna
it
say,
makes it
okay.
split back end down. So
Mm-hmm.
when you pull it, the popper mouth goes bloop bloop.
My whole
So
brain. My
so
whole brain.
if you just make it flat with no weight in it, it sits
Right.
flat and it doesn't pop right. It just pushes
Pushes water.
because it doesn't.
I'm gonna kick your ass this year. I'm gonna catch a 7 pounder. No, don't worry about it. It's just secrets that you're not allowed to know.
Yeah, so I sold the popper to a guy who fished in my club fishing tournament championship.
Okay.
I didn't know that he was going to use it against me in the championship, but he caught the second largest fish of the day after mine,
Oh,
of course, because I won. But I won on one of my own lures.
oh yeah. Oh, that one.
Something, yeah, similar to this, but I made a bluegill.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
I
love
don't
it.
have them on me here.
That's
They're
okay.
actually in the car because I was using them.
Yeah, as you should be. As you should be.
But like I said, I have a lot of my own like stuff that I
Oh,
bought.
yeah, yeah. And they make us happy.
Japanese walking baits that nobody else has.
That thing looks like a striper would smash it.
I bet they would. It's got a really good rattle in it and stuff.
Damn.
The company owner, the Hook Company, they make
Oh,
this.
really?
Hmm.
Who would know? Only you. Only you would know that.
I've, I've got stuff from the '90s in here, signature series. I've got the old school.
Oh, yeah. Do you still throw that? I would be so scared to lose it. See, after a certain point, I get so connected to a lore.
But then you get the modern day.
Yeah.
Like this is a Shower Blues 777.
Yeah. And look
Uh,
at it.
and I've rescued this from like the jaws of a snapping turtle. I had to fight it for my lure back.
Oh, no. A snapping turtle? For real?
I couldn't believe that a snapping turtle would hit a topwater, but
No.
I'm like,
Ew.
blop, 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 pause, and then I just see boom. I'm like, oh, I got a big one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's an 11 pounder.
He was more like 20.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's,
I had to wrestle it out of him with a stick. Eventually broke the hook off so I could
oh,
get my lure back.
man. Turtles will ruin a day. I've been lucky that I haven't had too many run-ins with a turtle, but Soraya would love to just take them all home.
You don't catch many of them fishing with lures, but
Right.
that day I guess he wanted that bait
That day.
real bad.
It was your day that day.
It wasn't his though. He got a mouthful of hooks.
Okay, so do you have a swim bait for sale right now in your hands that I could buy?
I have lots of swim baits for sale. In
Okay.
fact, all the ones that I've shown you tonight are
Mm-hmm.
available for sale.
Can I see
Um,
that rounder shad that you had?
the rounder shell.
I think it was more silver. Almost was like a bluegill profile, if I'm not mistaken.
So I've got
Yeah. Oh,
these
wow.
triple guys.
Yeah, I like
These
the
are made
blue.
out of Tupelo wood, like what Marling likes.
Right, right, right. I like
And
the
this one is
silverier one.
silver, and then this one is like a bone color.
I like the bone color one.
And they both have a color shift on the back.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
So it changes color from like a purple to a green.
They look so good. But no, I want
I
that
don't know
bone
if it's
colored one.
coming up in the video very
No,
well.
I can see it. It's tough. The computer cameras are questionable at best.
And then I made these guys recently too.
You're killing me. They're gorgeous. Actions on
And
them. And the
that
color
one is
profile, that Yeah, the green and the blue and the purple color
Color
profile
shift
is
on this one
sick.
too. It's got a gold, a green, a purple, a blue.
Yeah. See, I would want that on like a more bluegill color on the belly too.
But this one is
That's
more
dope.
like a natural shad, like a gray on top with a
Right,
silver
right.
scaling.
Yeah,
So
I still
again, like it's hard to sell these to people unless I make exactly what they want.
right.
If I'm off by one color on this one, people are like, that's not really
Yeah,
what I
right,
want.
right.
Or they're like, oh, I like the tail on that one better than that one.
Yeah, and you're like, gosh, dang it, just
But
you see, you're gonna have to start making them in twos, same colors, different tails.
and that's what I tried to do with these.
Yeah,
Like I try
yeah,
to make a little bit of variety. I
right.
never make the same thing twice. Even though
Okay,
they're similar,
right.
I'm never gonna make the same bait over and over again because I don't have a template. I don't have anything that is like pre-made
Right,
besides the swagger. The swagger, I make that the same way every time because I know it works.
because you know it works. Nice. Do you have a perch? I saw that perch one. Can I see that perch one again? I'm over here like a little kid. Oh, I want that one. Is that a wake bait though?
It's a crank down
It's a crank down.
pumpkin seed.
That looks so cool.
What did I do with the perch?
I
I put
don't
it to
know.
the side.
Did you put it to the other side?
Yeah, I put it to the other side.
Sweet. Yeah, I need that
So
one too.
that's a glide bait. Doesn't have a lip on it. It actually floats, but when you
Right?
crank it, it dives a little bit because of the shape of it.
Okay.
But then this one with the lip on the front,
Sick.
this one will dive and wobble
Uh-huh.
and swim.
They're so
Uh,
awesome. They're so rad. I can't.
this one I thought turned out really well. I thought that this one would have sold already because it's just
Wow.
dead
Yeah.
ringer bluegill.
Yeah. I need that in like a glide bait. So like no lip, but just a little. That's dope. I can hear the rat. I can hear the clicks.
Yeah, the back end will click as it swims.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't do a lot of bluegill glide baits,
Hey.
and the reason for that is because a bluegill is kind of short and stubby.
Right. It's tough to.
It's hard to get that glide action out of a homemade lure, and you're going to ruin more than you actually
Right.
get right.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, but what if
I
you went to the bigger
was
shad size?
I could make one big, but then it's big. That's the thing, and then people don't want to buy it.
Yeah, but I need to catch big fish. So I need it to be big.
Well,
Oh no, don't pull out the 9.5s. Don't. Oh, yeah. See? That right
so
there.
this is the first glide bait that I made, and a guy stiffed me on this one. He didn't buy it.
Buy it.
Um, but this was he wanted a 6-inch crappie painted exactly to look like the one that he took a picture of and sent it to me.
Right.
So I did it. But back when I made this, it took me about 3 months to make this lure.
Yeah.
So I put it up for $50 and he didn't buy it.
He didn't
So
buy it.
I still have it to this day. It weighs like almost a pound. It seems like
I
it's
might
got to
break
be
my
close to
rod.
it's got to be close to 8 ounces if anything. Look how thick it is.
Look at that thing. She is a little
But
beefy. Oh,
yeah,
she's
but I
gorgeous.
put like the pattern in it for like a crappie has on the back and
Yeah.
that that little like eye like patch on it and the lateral line, the gill plates and everything.
I think it looks
I,
great.
I spent a lot of time on this, and this is
Yeah.
back when I had an airbrush that wasn't very good.
Right, right.
So it would take me hours and hours to paint one color.
Right. And you'd be like, why?
I could turn this around in one day now with what I know.
Right, right.
But again, who wants to buy a 6-inch crappie if they're not going to buy this one?
I mean, we can talk on the side. That thing is awesome. I
It,
don't
it,
have a
it,
rod that can handle that right now.
I don't know many people who do.
I don't
This
know
guy
many people that
did,
do. Yeah.
and I don't know what happened to him.
I don't know what happened to him either because it looks fantastic to me. You know why? You didn't put magnets in it. Mistakes were
If I had
made.
magnets on it, that would have sealed the deal.
Mistakes were made, you know? I'm just messing with you.
Now we got magnets in our rats. We got magnets, everywhere. I could throw magnets in anything that you want. I could put rattles in anything you want now.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of that is just the experimentation that it takes over time to figure out like what works and what doesn't.
Right.
Like the fail pile is big.
No.
The fail pile is going to happen. I'm
Oh
sure
yeah.
that Marling has a fail pile.
Oh, I don't doubt
Um,
it.
he's not going to broadcast that because it's bad for YouTube content. But
That's true. That's true. Have you
but
ever
it,
made
it's
like a 5 foot pike or
a
whatever
five
that
foot.
long, whatever that like 2 foot long pike that he made that one time, whatever it was? It had like all those segments in it.
Oh, the baby muskie.
Oh, the baby. I'm sorry. It was a muskie. It was a muskie. I'm sorry.
But
Yes.
I haven't made anything that big yet. The biggest one I made is that 9.5 inch.
Yeah.
And that's only because once I start getting like wood that large,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to carve by hand,
Right.
and it becomes like a long-term project rather than something I could just turn around and
Yeah.
sell.
Right.
Um, and I also need somebody who wants that.
Right.
If you
Right.
don't have a person who wants to buy whatever it is you're making, then you're now stuck with this telephone pole fishing lure that is a great conversation piece,
Yeah.
but
Put it on your mailbox.
it took a year out of your life to make,
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, before we wrap this up, where can people find you? Where can people find your lures? Give them the full rundown so that they know where to go to buy these incredible baits that you make.
So right now, all of the stuff that I have available for sale goes immediately up on a website called craftyfisherman.com. And that's a storefront for small bait makers of all types. They have flies there, inline spinners, other bait painters and lure makers like myself.
Hmm.
I think I'm the only one who carves wooden baits on there currently.
Okay.
But it's just like an Etsy for fishermen, basically.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So they take a small cut of all my purchases, which I'm fine with because they give me the web space to host all my pictures and
Right.
descriptions, and they handle all the shipping and the taxes and things like that. So I don't
Yeah.
have to.
There you go.
Um, you can also find me at amanglers.com. But I only have like my t-shirts there. I don't have any baits because it's too hard to maintain all the pictures. That's why
Yeah.
maybe crafty.
There you go.
And then all of my social media is Adam Mihara Fishing. So if you're on YouTube, Adam Mihara Fishing, Facebook, same, Instagram, same. I don't do TikTok. Uh,
That's all right.
I'm too old. I
You
can't
don't have
handle
to, you don't have to do TikTok. I don't do TikTok. That's okay. It's a younger man's game. It's fine. Let the
it.
people that do TikTok do TikTok. Don't worry
And
about
like
it.
I said, for my YouTube, I keep thinking about quitting and then making like a miraculous comeback, like I don't know, a month or so from
Me
now. Who
too, right?
who knows
Right.
what'll happen? But like creating content in the wintertime for it is so hard
It is
because
very hard.
I live in New Jersey.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
cold here.
It is. It is. And icky.
It is pouring down rain right now as we record this, like in one
Mm-hmm.
of the worst storms we've had all year so far.
Yep. Yep.
And you're not really thinking about going, fishing for bass right now because of how cold it is. And, yes, I could catch them. I have no problem going out and catching fish.
Right.
Do I want to put myself through all the torment to do it?
Right.
That's the hard thing. Like, do
Yep.
I want to spend that hour and a half drive to go to, a lake and catch maybe one or two and be
Yeah.
satisfied with that?
No.
Uh,
No. Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
if it
No.
was for a tournament, but well,
Yeah, maybe. It depends. It depends.
yeah, for a tournament, if I get a trophy at the end of the year,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am I am
A
like
little bit of money.
thrilled.
A little bit of money in
Forget
your
the
pocket.
money. I want
Just a
the trophy.
trophy.
I want something to go up on the wall with the other ones.
That's true. That's true. I just want to say thank you so much for coming out. It was a big deal having you as my first guest because you were like you came around right at that point where I had just started to think about doing the podcast and I was just kind of getting like the balls to do it and like getting like the excitement about it. And then meeting you really took it to like the next level. So to have you as my first guest, I really want to thank you for that. And it means so much to me.
Um, I'm so thankful that you wanted to have me on. I thought, this
Bro,
is cool. I would
yeah,
love to do a podcast, especially with somebody who's just not about fishing, but about outdoors in general.
yeah.
Like the more I
Hmm.
find out about like what you're into, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I want to know more about bushcraft, or
Yeah.
I've never done anything with airsoft before. That was a
Oh,
really good podcast to listen to too, because
yeah.
that's outside of my like normal like listening repertoire. I'm like, okay, I got the jig podcast, the made to cast,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I get your stuff, and it's like it's different and it's appealing, and you have such a good delivery about it.
Thank you.
So it's enjoyable, and I think that the more that you put it out there, the more people are going to listen, and we just have to get you the audience, and
Yeah,
it's gonna come in droves.
yeah, yeah.
You want to deal with yourself. You're gonna be like, well, I'm gonna have the podcast to record because that's what the people want.
Right? High demand. I can't wait for that. And thank you so much. Those words mean everything to me. I appreciate it. We're definitely going to have you back on for sure. We have to get together so we can do some fishing. Obviously, not now in
Yes,
the winter because it's not
it's
worth it.
miserable out right
It's
now. Maybe
miserable
if it
out
warms
there.
up a little.
Maybe. Hey, if I'm off and you're free, hit me up. I'll drive down. But thank you so much for your time. Say hi to the wife, say hi to the dog. Stay safe and keep making lures, please. They look incredible.
I'm definitely gonna do that. And like I said, I got something special for Soraya on the way.
Oh, I'm excited about that. So excited. Guys, please go check out Adam and his lures. They're incredible. They're going to catch fish. He handcrafts them, hand designs them, carves them himself, paints them himself, and he makes sure that they work before he puts them up for sale. So go check him out. All right, Adam, have a good night,
All
man.
right.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
so much, Nell. Take care.
See ya.